Alright, what is good with y'all? It is Young Flames back in the building with another video today. In this video, I'm gonna be dropping straight facts. Saying nah. But in this video, I'm gonna show y'all 3 things that every producer should know when sound selecting for their beats. So the point of this video is to give tips and information to newer producers who are just starting out, or even like seasoned producers who want to improve their beats or their melodies or whatnot. So in the comment section, I don't want to hear, I knew this already. This video sucks. This was so obvious. So yeah, before we get into the video, if you aren't already, go follow my Instagram and Twitter at MaxFlames_. A lot of new music that I produced will be dropping soon, so if you want to keep up to date, you could find it there. And yeah, let's get into the video. So number 1, the first thing that every producer should know when they sound select is to stay away from picking sounds that sound too alike. Now, to most producers this may seem pretty obvious, but I see it a lot in beginners beats where they'll have a sound and then they'll put a pattern over it, and then they'll pick 3 more sounds that sound similar, if not the same as the first sound. If you were to send that beat to a rapper, it would be very hard for the rapper to interpret the beat, to interpret the melody, and they wouldn't even want to bother putting vocals or lyrics over it. So here I have a beat that I did. This is the main melody of the beat. So pretty simple, right? And then I added like 3 other sounds that sound like bells, just to show you guys what I mean when these producers do. So the problem I have with this is that with a melody, you want to have the main melody, and then you want to put sounds over it that complement the melody. So in this case, I have the main, the main melody right here, and then after I have that, I would probably go to adding chords over it. So for that, I would probably use keys or a pad or maybe even an arp. But the arp can't sound like a bell, if the first sound is a bell, you want to pretty much only have that kind of instrument in the beat, if that makes sense. Sometimes you can get away with having 2 or 3 bells, actually only 2 at the most, but they would have to sound very different, and they would also have to be in different frequency ranges, which I'll get to later on. But for here, I would probably change it. Let's see. So here I would have something like a pad in the background. It gives the main melody some sort of environment, something to progress the melody. So after that, I would probably go as far as to adding a counter melody with a different sound. So let's see what this sounds like. Okay, so this is the first sound. First of all, this, even besides the sound, the melody is doing too much. So I would probably stretch the melody out. And then, I would do something like that. So if we were to play all of the drums over it. So now to me that sounds a lot better. There's not too much going on with the melody, and the sounds, they complement each other, which is ultimately what I'm trying to get at, is when you sound select, you want to pick sounds that complement each other. That doesn't mean to pick sounds that sound alike. You want to pick sounds that would give variety to the beat, as well as giving more depth to it, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's it for the first one. Now on to the second one. So kind of piggybacking off of the first point I made, the second point that every producer should know when they sound select is to pick sounds that vary in frequency ranges. So pretty much what I mean with that is that you don't want to pick too many sounds. So say you mastered the first point and you pick sounds that don't sound the same and they contrast and they complement each other overall. The next thing you want to make sure of is that those sounds don't occupy the same frequency ranges. So I'm going to go with the first melody again. I'm going to pull up a parametric EQ on the master so we can see where most of the frequencies for the main melody are hitting. Okay, so mainly they're hitting between this 4 and 6 range. So after that, you want to make sure that the counter melodies and the chords and all of that, they're not occupying the same frequency range. So with the chords, you want to really pick a sound that occupies maybe from the 2 to 4 frequency range, or maybe even the 3 to the 4 frequency range. So I'm gonna turn off the first melody and let's see where this pad is hitting. So perfect, it's hitting right there, like I said, in the 3 to 4 range. So let's see where this counter melody is hitting. Okay, so the counter melody is hitting in the 4 and the 7 range. So the first melody was hitting in the 4 range also. So with this, I would want to pick a different sound. So let's see here. Nope, that sound's still hitting in the 4 range. Okay, so this sound is hitting in the 6 to 7 range. Let's see if I can get something higher. So this is hitting in the 5 range. Remember that the first melody was hitting in the 4 to 6 range. So now I'm going to play all these sounds together. Right, so now that sounds a lot more coherent, right? And at the same time, they're not in the same frequency ranges. So it doesn't sound muddy. It doesn't, the sounds don't clash with each other. So now I'm going to play it with all the sounds. Alright, so right off the bat, I love seeing that as a producer because it shows that all of the sounds in the beat are hitting in different ranges. Therefore, the beat is occupying the whole frequency spectrum. So that shows that the beat isn't muddy and it's, it's a coherently sounding beat. So yeah. So on to the next one. So last but not least, the third thing that every producer should know when sound selecting drums is to always analyze the waveforms and to always use quality drum kits. So some of you guys are probably thinking,
well, Max, I don't pay for any of my drum kits. I get them off the dark web.
Which, I'm not hating on that. Every producer's been there at one point. But, you want to make sure to look at to analyze the waveforms. So for instance, wait, what the? See, that's a prime example of what I mean. That's not even an 808. That's someone, moaning into the mic. Anyway, so for instance, when I'm sound selecting for a drum, I want to look for a drum that actually has waves and it has some sort of depth to the actual waveform. So, for instance, I have this KBZ drum opened up. And as you can see, the drum actually has waves and it's not, it's not squished up. Like, you don't want to use a drum that looks like this, where the sound is all squished up like that. You could barely see the wave. It obviously, it's not a good sound, and two, it won't hit as hard. So for like picking a clap, I try to make sure that they have this kind of waveform to it. I don't even know how you would explain how that looks, but generally all claps look like that. So let me pick up another sound in here. See, this is a different clap, but it still has that general waveform. It has these three I guess rises in the waveform, and then it has the majority of the waveform right here. So for me, I tend to stay away from sounds that like this, that are very squished like this. That just means there was a lot of over compression done to the sound. With something like that, you can get away with it with like a snare or even like a clap or something like that, but I usually tend to stay away from them. So yeah, so that's it for the video, you guys. If you learned something, or if you even just enjoyed watching, I would appreciate it if you dropped a like down below. I would also appreciate if you guys subscribed. I'm trying my best to bust out these tutorials for you guys, but I just started school again, so it's going to be difficult. I'm going to try to stay on a schedule of 1 video per week, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you're watching and whenever you're watching. Keep grinding, all you producers. Keep making dope music, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.